Hi, my name is John Tietzel and I'm here to record a video to teach you how to record a PowerPoint lecture in PowerPoint. Um, to begin, I want to talk about some of the contents of the video. I'm going to describe some of the equipment needs in order to carry out this process, as well as a way to actually record the lecture for future playback for your students. So amongst the general equipment needs are Microsoft Office of some sort, but most desirably a Microsoft Office 2019, an audio capture device such as a microphone, a video screen capture, and a video external capture that I'll expand upon in a minute. So first off, I want to talk about Microsoft Office PowerPoint. And so this is an extraordinarily useful tool in order to record lectures for your students. A copy of Microsoft Office with PowerPoint, especially 2013 or later, can allow you to record your own videos in the program itself. I'm currently recording in Microsoft Office 2019, which is extraordinarily useful for additional services and tools that it has that make it better than other versions of the Microsoft Office PowerPoint. Copies of Microsoft Office PowerPoint can be purchased through the Cougar Bite Cafe online or in store for a one-time charge of $20, which is extraordinarily cheap compared to the normal $500 or the subscription service that you can purchase through Microsoft. You can do that through the link that is provided on screen. Additionally, you can also make lectures using Microsoft Office 365, which is another way that's going to be provided free through your Access UH account. However, some of the features such as recording actual videos are not going to be possible through that particular form of PowerPoint. Additionally, there's Google Drive, which is a free version of slides, if you will. That's going to be allowing you to make lectures. However, you won't be able to record using any in-studio, in-software programs. Lastly, some Microsoft Office rentals. You can actually rent out free laptops with current Microsoft Office, so Microsoft Office 2019, which has all the tools that I'm going to be talking about for recording PowerPoint lectures, and that can be rented for free daily at the UH libraries, so you'll have to return it at the end of the day. However, it's free, and I provided a link here below. In order to capture audio, it's important to have a microphone to actually capture that audio. And so with most laptops, like the one I'm currently using, there's going to be a built-in microphone to allow for audio recording. In contrast, most desktops do not actually have a microphone built in, and so an external microphone will become necessary, and you can purchase that yourself. Or there's actually free rentals through the UH libraries that can be used daily. Any rented or bought microphones are going to be significantly higher quality than ones you would likely find on a laptop, for example. So if you want to utilize the higher quality audio recordings, some of the microphones at the UH libraries will be significantly more useful in producing higher quality videos. Lastly, some of the microphone alternatives that you can use are headphones, wired or wireless. Most of them will likely have their own microphone attached to them, and as a result, it will make things really easy in order to record audio. Video capture is going to be an important part of what you're trying to do when you're uploading lectures online or for your students, and so Microsoft Office's from 2013 onward will allow for that recording of lectures. However, 2019 is all the tools that I'm going to be talking about in this particular lecture, and this can be very useful for converting normal slides and into video files that you can have additional commentary on the slides for your students to look at. Laptops that will enable these capabilities can also be rented through UH libraries, as I've already discussed. However, if you do not have some of the screen capture abilities that I've mentioned before that are going to be found in some of the more modern Microsoft Office PowerPoint versions, you can actually download free or cheap versions of screen captures. Amongst those that I'm going to recommend are Screencast-O-Matic, which is free, and it can record up to 15 minutes, which is the free version, or you can pay $20 a year or $48 a year for a deluxe and a premium version of those, both of which have additional audio libraries, music libraries, clip art, and can record for as long as you need to, as well as a few additional properties that make it very useful, but maybe unnecessary. Video external capture. So this is how you're probably seeing me in this bottom right corner of your screen right now. So external capture, what I'm referring to is when you're able to project yourself onto the video itself. And so this is going to be allowing to have an external element to the video you're recording so that you can have a more direct conversation with whoever might be viewing it. And so self-video capture is available through Microsoft Office PowerPoint 2019 and not in prior versions. So if you want to do this, it will be needed to be done in the current version of Microsoft Office. You can also record with a laptop on your own if you wanted to do manual recording yourself. You can do that because most laptops will have a webcam attached. With desktops on the offhand, on the other hand, you might have a webcam attached. However, more likely than not, you'll have to purchase your own webcam or find some alternative version for video capture, namely using a camcorder or some kind of video recording device, your phone, for example. Recording with a camera is a great way to also record that external video capture that I'm referring to, and you can actually rent out free cameras through the UH library that are going to provide high quality video that you may or may not need in order to demonstrate stuff on the external side of the lectures. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into actually how to record a lecture. And so I provided some basic steps here on this particular slide, and there are going to be additional steps that will be expanded as we progress through the lecture. So first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and talk about how to start the actual recording process. So at the very beginning, what you should do after you've completely made your lecture is you can go to the slideshow tab at the top of your screen. And so that slideshow tab will look something like this. If you can see the slideshow tab, click on that. And then from there, what you can do is go ahead and press one of the buttons below that will show click record slideshow. And if you expand that arrow below, you can choose to record from beginning or current slide onward. So to illustrate that, I'm going to pull up this slide and actually show one of the capabilities here. And so you can actually use arrows to point out specific spots. This isn't a direct capture from my personal laptop. However, if you were to click on that particular icon, you would be able to choose to record from the beginning of the lecture, or you can record from the current slide that you're on. So after you've done that, you'll come up to this screen, and this screen is the preemptive side of the actual recording. And just to give you some bearings, you can choose a number of different settings to work with moving forward. You can turn on or off your microphone and camera. And so those microphone and cameras will be in the bottom right. On the top right, you can choose which source of microphone or camera you will be using. So if you were using, for example, either your laptop's microphone, or if you had a set of earbuds in, you can choose which microphone you wanted to record out of. Additionally, cameras, you're likely using your laptop camera or a potential other webcam sort of camera, and you can choose either or of those on that drop down on the settings section. In order to demonstrate one key feature in this particular setup, I've removed myself from this video. And so like I said before, when you're making a video, consider where your face may be projected onto the slide. And so what you can do is you can remove the audio. So if I wanted to, I can click on this icon over here, denoted with the red arrow. Clicking on that will remove any microphone recordings. To the right of that, there's going to be a video option. That video option will allow you to turn on or off the video. And to the very right of that, there's another portrait-like thing that will allow you to have a preview of where your face will show up on the screen. And removing that will allow you to remove that preview for yourself in that particular instance. So now that you've seen all the settings available, you're now ready to capture. So on the top left part of your screen, you should see a capture button, which is denoted with a red circle with another red circle around that. Now just to walk you through the basic layout of that preview screen, I'm going to go through in order by number 1. That number 1 is in the top right. It's going to point out the settings. Those settings, like I referred to, will allow you to choose your audio recording device, so which microphone you're using, as well as your video recording device, so the webcam you may or may not be using. On the bottom right, starting from the leftmost icon, there's a microphone that will allow you to turn on or off your microphone at will before you start recording. At number 3, we have the video. I've turned off the video in this particular instance. You can turn that on if you would like. And number 4 will allow you to generate the preview where that video of yourself will be going. Normally that video is going to be found in the bottom right, so if you're using that video, make sure you don't have anything in the bottom right of your corner of your slide that may be obscured by the video that's generated of yourself talking. Lastly, number 5 at the top left, like we just finished discussing, that's going to be how you initiate the recording process. So now that you've pressed record that was on the top left of your screen, you're going to come to this slide here. This is going to give you a little countdown, getting you prepped for when the actual recording is going to begin. And so once you get to 1, following that, it will begin recording. On the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a number of different useful tools that will allow you to interact with whatever slides you have. On this particular demonstration of this slide, I have drawn the U of H logo in red. I'm going to demonstrate that again right here on the top right of your screen, and so that's going to be an example of what you can do. You can use a number of different colors from the white all the way to the black and purple on the far right, and that there are 3 icons on the bottom left of that part. There's going to be a pen version as well as a highlighter version if you wanted to highlight something in particular, maybe the in yellow versus in red. You can do that very easily. And if you messed up and you want to erase something in particular, you can use the eraser icon to remove particular segments that were all in order with one another. So I can delete this purple line at the top right by clicking one small part of it. During the middle of a video, sometimes it can take a while to generate a video, so you might want to stop. So on the top left, next to that original record button, there's going to be a stop sign. So I'm pointing that out right here in a crudely drawn purple arrow, and then you can replay whatever video you had recorded just to get an idea of what was recorded there. If you wanted to, for example, remove that recording and re-record, on the top right in that blue, under that blue arrow, there's a clear sign. That clear, if you pulled it up, will allow you to either clear the audio and video that was on the current slide or clear all of the recordings from the entire slideshow. So I would recommend the current slide if you wanted to redo that. That video and audio would then just get put at the end of what to replace all the audio and video for that current slide, and would be just put right after wherever the last slide ended. And so it's a very useful tool in order to record small segments of your lecture. So just an overview of the things you would normally be able to see during a recording process. Starting at number 1 in the very bottom, I want to go over those tools again. Number 1 is going to be labeled as the pen tool that will allow you to circle relatively finely around things. You can use it almost as a laser. It won't go away, however, it is a useful tool to circle things. Number 2 is going to be your highlighter if you wanted to highlight anything in particular. Then to the right of those, number 3 is going to be all the colors that you can use to circle with the pen or highlight with the highlighter, which is 1 and 2. Number 4 is going to be the eraser. That's going to allow you to remove any particular instance of writing or drawing that you had done. On the top right, that number 5 arrow, that's going to be the clearing button, so you can clear recordings on the current slide or clear recordings on all slides. It's very useful in order to remove the recordings on a current slide in my particular experience, because recording audio can be very difficult. On the bottom left, number 6, you can see what slide you're on, how long you've been recording on that current slide, and how long the overall lecture has been so far. And then on the top left, you have that stop button and the replay function. The stop is a great way to find a way to gather your bearings and see where you are in that current lecture. You can stop between slides, you can stop in the middle of a slide, allowing you to clear your current recordings. You can replay and see what you've already recorded as well. So now that you've completely recorded your lecture, what you need to do now is save your lecture. And so on the top left, the first thing you want to do is go to File. So at the top left corner of your screen should be the File button, as denoted by the blue arrow. So following pressing the file button, you're going to be taken to this other screen here where you want to scroll down to where that blue arrow is and click the Save As button. Clicking the Save As button will allow you to see the remainder of these options. So clicking on the Browse button will allow you to choose where you want to save your file. So here's our Browse button on the left side. Clicking that Browse button will allow you to explore your computer and choose a place to save it. I've already made a save location for my particular lecture. It's going to be saved as my lecture, and then from there you want to choose what type of file you're going to save it as. And so here I'm going to pull down that drop down called the Save As type, which is going to be your normal file name. And here's an expansion of that Save As type. It's going to be below where your normal file name is, and so I'm going to go ahead and circle that in red using the tool. And so here's our Save As type on the left. So when you're done recording, or after that part, what you're going to do is go ahead and expand that drop-down menu, and from there you're going to choose the MPEG-4 video, which is going to be an MP4, more commonly known. And just to give you an idea of the full screen, here's what we're looking at here. The MPEG-4 video is going to be the ideal video in my opinion because it compresses the data and makes it a smaller file size in my experience. So congratulations, you've recorded your first lecture. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to make a separate video on how to actually upload the videos, and I hope this was useful. Good luck.